Welcome to this GiftWorks quick video. My name is Steve Faithful. I'm the Director of Development for GiftWorks and the GiftWorks related product line. In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to use and get started using GiftWorks Anywhere. GiftWorks Anywhere is a solution that's going to be available for mission research in early December that allows GiftWorks users to use GiftWorks anywhere, whether it be anywhere in the community, around the country, or around the world. Currently, users install GiftWorks on a local machine, and then if multiple users want to use it together, they must do so over a network connection that has speeds of approximately 100 megabits or more to get really good performance out of it. So for users who are connected, let's say through internet connections where it might be 1, 2, 3, maybe 6 megabits, the speed of GiftWorks just really isn't that usable, and many users have been forced to try to come up with other solutions or just no solution at all. And so for users, let's say, who are connected, who work out of their homes or have multiple offices around the country but don't have high-speed connections between them, then they are forced to come up with some way to share GiftWorks information. And so we wanted to provide a solution that solves that. GiftWorks Anywhere is just that, and I want to show you how easy it is to install and begin to use it. So for a user who is interested in GiftWorks Anywhere, they'll purchase it from us. They'll specify perhaps some other additional applications they might need. So if they need to use GiftWorks, but they might also need to use QuickBooks or Microsoft Outlook at the same time, they'll tell us what applications they'll need. So let's just assume they'll need GiftWorks, QuickBooks, and Outlook to send some emails. Well, once they buy it from us, we'll send them some instruction sheet of some sort, whether it be email or whatnot, and then in that will contain a link to download some software. Anyone who's interested in using GiftWorks Anywhere is going to be required to install software, client software, not GiftWorks, but software that allows them to access our GiftWorks Anywhere servers that will deliver the GiftWorks experience. So in this case, let's just pretend I've gone to a website to download the GiftWorks Anywhere installation file. So you'll notice it here on my desktop. Once I double-click it, it's going to begin an installation. Now this installation is a Citrix piece of software that allows the user to access, because we're delivering GiftWorks Anywhere through a Citrix solution, they will be required to install this Citrix client software. Now I'm showing you this on a Windows-based machine, but this is also available for Macintosh, for Linux, Unix, an iPhone or Windows mobile phone. So there's a number of different platforms that this is supported by. Now this installation is just for Windows, so I'm going to go ahead and click on Next and let this install. It's a very simple install, but there will be support requirements around this because just like we have issues installing GiftWorks, undoubtedly we'll have some issues installing this Citrix piece of software on users' machines. Now they will download it, they will install it. If they have any issues, they'll call us our support department. There is certainly the requirement to be connected to the internet with this. And hopefully, as part of the installation, it will be fairly smooth, fairly easy, but may be subject to some of the environmental issues that we have today with other users. Firewalls, etc. Some could block certain access. So we'll have to work through that, but it's a pretty simple install, and once it's done installation, once it's done installing, I can click the Finish button, and in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see a little gray circle, and if I hover over it, it says Citrix XenApp, which is the name of the application that can access the GiftWorks Anywhere servers. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put a username in, which this username is what we'll provide to the customer. So mrtest1, I'm just going to put a username in and a password, and then click OK. I can leave the domain blank. So the user will simply do that. So once it's installed, they'll see this little gray app. They can right-click on it and say Log On, and they'll put in their username and then put in the password. Once they do that, click the OK button. And you'll see that in the lower right-hand corner, it's going to go from a gray to a blue circle, indicating that it's been logged on. If I click on this once, not right-click, but regular click on it once, I'm going to see a list of applications. So in this case, I'll see GiftWorks, I'll see QuickBooks, and I can see under the Office folder, I'll see Outlook. So I also see File Explorer. This presentation will be a little bit different once we go live, but for now, this is what it shows. So you can get to the applications by clicking here. I can also change the options of this client software to say if I want to see them in the Start menu, so I can also see them in the Start menu, which I'll show you in a second. And then I can also show them on the desktop if I want. So in the Start menu, you'll see if I click on Start, go to All Programs, I'll see a GiftWorks Remote folder with all the icons there as well. So there's a number of different ways to start up GiftWorks. So I'm just going to click on here to start up GiftWorks. So I've installed the client software, and now I logged on using my credentials, my username and password. And once I do that, it's going to start up. You'll see it's branded as Citrix. it's a Citrix solution, but then it's going to start up GiftWorks like it normally would. It doesn't look that much different from a normal installed version of GiftWorks. A little bit different if you're real familiar with perhaps the colors or some of the formatting. You might notice it's slightly different. But once I sign in, the experience is going to be very much like a normal user experience. You might notice a little pixelation up at the top as I'm hovering over these icons, and that's until Citrix, the way it works, is actually simply transmits a series of images down to the workstation rather than running the whole program. So the images, while they're loading, might be a little pixelated, but that's just that over time that will go away. So once I do that, I can begin to use GiftWorks like I would normally. There are some things that you need to be mindful of as you're using it. For instance, anytime that GiftWorks needs to access the local file system, that is the person's computer, or it deals with files in general. For instance, if I bring up the All Donor Smart List and want to export this, you'll notice that right now it says save to this folder. Well, this folder, this H drive, really isn't an it's not an H drive on the person's machine, but rather it's an H drive that exists on the GiftWorks Anywhere server. Every user, this is not actually accurate the way it is right now. Every user will have a H drive, and they will have also a G drive, which this user does not have right now, but they will when we go live. They'll have a H drive, which is their personal folder. They can store their own documents on the GiftWorks Anywhere server. Well, they'll have a G drive. The G drive is going to be their global drive, which contains information for the entire organization, like their GiftWorks database. You'll also notice you see like the U and the V drive, which those U and V drive actually map to the user's machine, C drive and D drive. So there's going to have to be some education around about how to understand where certain things are being stored, etc. And so we'll have to make sure we have some training videos around that. So anytime you're using GiftWorks that it might need to access the file system, that is the computer, we'll just have to make sure we have some education around that. But mostly everything else should work pretty much okay. There are going to be some issues to consider with mailing and different things like that, but things that I think we can train and give some education around. So I'm going to minimize this, and so you see GiftWorks is still running there. You can also see I can start up QuickBooks if I want. I can start up QuickBooks. I can start up a File Explorer, which will give me access to those things that I just showed you a moment ago. So I can run a number of different things, a number of different applications or things like that. And I'm closing them down or minimizing now. I can also run Outlook. So I can run these and they appear in my system bar, my task bar, just like anything else would, just like another application would. And they run and are fairly responsive, just like GiftWorks would normally be. In some cases, depending on the speed of the computer, GiftWorks may even run faster. So once I've done that, it's really easy to use. I can then go ahead and I can shut these down like I would normal applications. And then I can go ahead and I can right click down here and simply say log off. And then you'll see it goes from blue to gray, which indicates I'm logged off the GiftWorks Anywhere server. And then I can even exit the application. So you'll see that the experience is pretty easy, not only to install it. You saw I installed it. I provided some credentials, username and password, and then I was able to start GiftWorks. The installation was quick, it was easy, and the experience was pretty much the same as you might expect if you had GiftWorks installed locally. There's a number of things we'll have to consider when we start selling this, but I wanted to give you an overview of what it looks like, how easy it is to get started with it, and I hope it's been helpful.